What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to Lineman Live. It's Wednesday, folks. Hump day.
Hey.
We are here. We are here to give you our views, to give you our opinions on the headlines in the sports world. I'm your observant lineman, Uche Nwaneri, here with my guest host, Justin Blaylock. My co-host, I'm sorry. Keep saying it wrong.
Old habits, man. Old habits.
Old habits. But we are the linemen. We the O-line. We the ones who make the blocks, who keep the engine moving. And we're going to keep this engine moving in Lineman Live. Hope you guys are having a wonderful week. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you get notified each and every time we drop new content. Woo! Let's get into it because we got some things to talk about. We really do. We got some things to talk about here today. Couple of them will sound familiar to you, but as we continue to make our way through the NFL offseason with training camp right around the corner, you still have that issue hanging out there. The Washington Commanders and their owner, Dan Snyder. This guy has been ducking and dodging the U.S. government over testifying over misconduct allegations with the Commanders. I mean, these are things that basically have been in the shadow of this franchise for like at least 10 years, I would think. There's been these whispers and murmurs. Now shit's hitting the fan. Now people are getting called up to Congress. And Dan Snyder has officially exited the building. He is on his yacht, sailing the high seas,
international waters,
while his lawyers try to snake him out of having to testify and be deposed by the U.S. Congressional Committee, which would put him under oath. You see, this is what they always are afraid of. These kind of people, these white collar criminals. And, we say alleged in this case because these lawyers are pretty good. I want no libel cases coming my way. But This is the game plan. This is what they will fight against at all costs, is being put under oath. Because once you get put under oath, it's a different kind of story. Now you can actually be held accountable, theoretically, for the things you say. And Dan Snyder is continuing to try to kind of shuffle his way out of this. But we'll go through this quick article from Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated actually has been covering this pretty well. I believe we've been reading from some of their articles in regards to this and Vince McMahon. But today we got two articles, one on Dan Snyder, one on Vince McMahon, both coming from Sports Illustrated. So, hey, they've been working. This is 4 hours ago. It says Dan Snyder's legal team. Oh, let me zoom this in a little bit. Dan Snyder's legal team responds to Congress proceedings with subpoena. After the U.S. House of Representatives on oversight and reform accepted the Commanders' owners Dan Snyder's offer to testify July 28th, his legal team responded to the committee's intention to issue a subpoena. There is no valid basis to issue a subpoena for Mr. Snyder's testimony. We intend that he will testify voluntarily on July 28th, as he has long agreed and looks forward to the opportunity to do. And I believe that the difference there is that if you volunteer, I don't believe they put you under oath. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Y'all might know better than me, but I believe he avoids being put under oath. If you get subpoenaed, you must show up or you'll be held in contempt, and you must be put under oath because now it's an official proceeding where you're formally being questioned rather than, I guess, informally. So, if anybody knows out there from a legal standpoint, let us know in the chat, because I'm not 100% certain that is the scenario he's facing, but it could be. And it sounds like that would be a reason to argue if you were in his position. You don't want to be subpoenaed because that means something different.
Hell yeah. Thankfully, neither one of us knows exactly what the difference is.
I know, right? So it says here, the committee chairwoman, Representative Carolyn Maloney from New York, wrote in a letter earlier this week that the committee will proceed with a subpoena in place to ensure that Mr. Snyder's testimony will be full and complete and will not be restricted in the way it would be if the disposition were conducted voluntarily. So boom, I guess you kind of got your answer right there. They said, yeah, you can come testify. But we're going to send a subpoena just so we can make sure this is official. This is not you're volunteering your time, but we're going to make sure that it's a full and complete interview without you dancing around questions, and we're going to make it an official subpoenaed testimony, which I'm assuming now is under oath, which is his nightmare.
Right. I think Michael Corleone appeared voluntarily, if I'm not mistaken. When he was,
Michael Corleone, he's just sitting there like, you know a Jim? You know a Jim? I don't know no Jim. I don't know no Jim. I don't know no Jim. I don't know who that is. I'm just a businessman.
I think when you appear on your own volition, I think it's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. You can kind of call your own game. Says here, let's see. She added, Mr. Snyder has a troubling history of using non-disclosure agreements to cover up workplace misconduct, behavior that is central to our investigation, and it would be highly inappropriate for him to employ the same tactic to withhold information from the committee. Snyder's attorney, Karen Patton Seymour, wrote that the committee's justification for the subpoena is baseless. Mr. Snyder is not subject to any NDA that conditions his ability to share information solely on receipt of a subpoena. Seymour also addressed that the committee's allegations that Snyder previously refused to cooperate, adding, while Mr. Snyder was already committed to a work engagement overseas on the single date the committee offered for his appearance, we repeatedly reiterated Mr. Snyder's willingness to cooperate and offered to find an alternative dates for him to appear. The committee accused Snyder of refusing to accept service of a subpoena for his testimony last month. So they was probably running this cat down on his dock. They were running on his dock over where his yacht is, and he just telling his yacht dude, pull off, come on, pull off.
We got to beat the block one more time.
Hey, they couldn't serve the papers to him. His yacht just took off. There it goes.
How much to go to Africa one more time?
Yeah, we just gonna go back to Africa again.
If they get if they're here next time, I guess we'll just go somewhere else.
He said, "Hey, I just had to see you when we get back. All right, we'll be back. We'll be back in a couple of weeks."
We gotta get old buddy from Captain Phillips from the Pirates.
For real.
I the captain now. We need that motherfucker.
Oh man. It says via spokesperson, Snyder denied he was dodging testimony. And last week, he offered to provide video testimony. Snyder declined to be deposed at a June 22nd hearing of the committee, although NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell did speak at the hearing. Yeah, we covered that. Committee launched a months-long probe looking into the franchise's workplace culture, how the league handled misconduct reports, and the NFL's role in setting and enforcing standards across the league, and legislative reforms needed to address these issues across the NFL and other workplaces. NFL shared numerous documents with the committee throughout the investigation, such as a common interest agreement between the NFL and the team, and an engagement letter between lawyer Beth Wilkinson's firm and the franchise. Wilkinson conducted an extensive investigation of the team's workplace culture. However, the findings from Wilkinson's report haven't been released, which is what everybody's kind of been waiting on too, because that is what kind of was the catalyst of John Gruden being fired. And that was the catalyst of a number of names being exposed through the 650,000 emails that the NFL got from the Washington Commanders. And we still don't know who those people are from those emails. Because it couldn't have just been John Gruden, the guy who called Roger Goodell a pussy, could it? He's the only guy who took the fall in that one.
Daddy was a no kind of pussy, but at least he listened.
He's an anti-football pussy, and he was gone within 48 hours. He was out of a job.
Yeah, surely he wasn't just emailing himself.
You know?
Who was the fall guy? The president of the Commanders, right? The other guy.
Yeah, the other guy was the president was the one who got fired. He was the one who was the fall guy. He's the one who said, "We have excellent culture." Oh, God. Last fall, multiple women involved in the investigation called Goodell's statements on the matter false, calling for full transparency from the league. The league commissioner reiterated why he would not be releasing the report during last month's hearings. Additionally, the committee penned an explosive letter to the Federal Trade Commission asserting that the Commanders and Snyder may have engaged in troubling, long-running, and potentially unlawful pattern of financial conduct that victimized thousands of team fans and the National Football League. That was basically the embezzling of all of the home game money that they made.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's like a shit ton. There's a mountain of like misconduct just literally pointed with an arrow flag right towards the Washington Commanders. And like this cat is the last missing link, really, to put everything together. And I mean, worst case scenario, this dude could be going to prison because there is a number of offenses that they could get him on aside from any of the misconduct stuff. Like you're talking about fraud, wire fraud. Like that's a federal offense. Cats usually get prison for wire fraud. That's usually pretty much you're going to do at least a few years.
Right.
Let's see.
I'm sure he can live the rest of his life on that boat.
You know he can too. Oh God! It says prior to June's hearing, Representative Maloney sent the committee members a 29-page memo revealing how Snyder not only allegedly used private investigators in his own probe, but also abused the subpoena power of the federal courts to obtain private emails, call logs, communications in an effort to uncover the sources of Washington Post exposés, undermine their credibility, and impugn their motives. This cat was like getting private emails from news publications with subpoena power from the government. He was using the government subpoena power. Yo!
You need to stay on that boat, player.
Yeah, you probably need to stay on that boat, my guy, because that right there. I don't even think. What is that a charge of? What do you charge him with on that one?
Only dock places with no extradition.
Hey, that cat gotta go to he gotta go to Venezuela if he want to fucking be able to stay off the shores. Shoot, he gonna have to go to Russia. He ain't coming out of there.
Oh man, well, sure.
Wow. I mean, think about that for a second. You used the government, coerced the government into giving you subpoenas into issuing subpoenas for private emails from the freaking people who were looking into you, who were major press, who were part of a major press corporation, which is like directly connected to which the Constitution like vigorously protects their ability to have sources. Like you kind of like went around the Constitution on top of everything else. Like you made the government violate the Constitution.
Wow, this is spectacular.
Like that's even beyond a crime. I mean, there's some kind of espionage charge there, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of words big enough to encapsulate
what's a big enough charge for that? I mean, you got to be looking at life in prison just on GP, just on general principle. Yeah, you're gonna go ahead and be gone, and you're selling your team. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. Says here, new allegations of how Snyder handled harassment claims against other executives and the kind of workplace culture he allegedly fostered also emerged. Snyder also faces other sexual misconduct allegations of his own. For example, they got to say, for example, the committee held a hybrid roundtable with several former employees of the franchise, and Tiffany Johnson detailed allegations that directly implicated Snyder, who denied them. I learned that placing me strategically by the owner at a work dinner after this networking event was not for me to discuss business, but to allow him to place his hands on my thigh under the table. Johnson said in her opening statement, I learned how to discreetly remove a man's unwanted hand from my thigh at a crowded dinner table at a crowded restaurant to avoid a scene. I learned that job survival meant I should continue my conversation with another coworker rather than call out Dan Snyder right then in the moment. I also learned later that that evening how to awkwardly laugh while Dan Snyder aggressively pushed me towards his limo with his hand on my lower back, encouraging me to ride with him to my car. I learned how to continue to say no, even though a situation was getting more awkward, uncomfortable, and physical. Woo! Okay. These are situations I don't think a lot of us are very surprised by, unfortunately, in this society. No. And, there's a reason for this. There's a reason. Is when you have a guy who has the ability to hop on a super yacht and dip on the U.S. government, when he has the ability to actually force the U.S. government to issue subpoenas on his behalf, when you have an individual who literally has people with papers chasing after him to try and get him to at least acknowledge that he's being called to court, and he has yet to even be charged with a damn thing. There's only one thing I know of that's that badass. There's only one way you can be that ruthless of a human. This motherfucker has unlimited power, y'all. It's unlimited power. And if you think it's just exclusive to him, well, then you don't know shit, Jack, because there's somebody else who's in the same boat, damn near the exact same situation.
Yep.
And we all know who he is. Vince McMahon.
Oh, Lord.
And I mean...
they all got, like, dossiers on each other. Hey, motherfucker, you sell me out. Just know this shit coming out. This shit's leaking.
Hey, let me tell you something though. This is literally, with as much as we've been covering these two guys and their antics, this is literally how I see the situation. Vince McMahon and Dan Snyder, when they meet in federal penitentiary, it's like the same cats right now. They could be blood relatives and not know it with the way they acted. It's the exact same profile. These guys are just, look, I think we all know that eventually things like these come up, but when you look at like the extent that these cats go to, like, bruh, pussy ain't never been worth it to me to actually want to put my money up to keep it on the DL. Like, I'm not putting no million up for nothing because I'm not forcing you to do a damn thing.
Yeah, he putting up tens of millions.
I ain't pay because that's my number one motivation to not even like try to force a woman to do nothing. It's like, I don't want to pay you. Right. I don't want you to feel like you can get me to pay you. Because that's just completely against my G code, sweetie. I mean, that's just not gonna happen.
Right.
I'm not gonna allow it.
You need to be paying me.
Exactly. Hey, that's how I be feeling. You need to pay me some money. Cause I ain't even like, I'm not with it. Last thing I want to do is have somebody feel like they got over on me and they gonna get my bread off of me just because I was being thirsty.
Right.
That's like defeat. That's like utter defeat.
Plenty more.
Hell no.
I don't need you.
I am not finna be that cat. That shit right there, that'll fuck your head up. Like, you just got over Now you're completely cornered. Only thing, it's like you either gonna lash out or you're gonna cash out, but that's it. One of the two. You're gonna lash out or you're gonna cash out. Because you ain't getting out of this one. That sucks to me. And these cats, they do it and they be like, yeah, it's all good. I gave her $4 million. Like,
what?
Me?
Like, there's no way it's that hard to cover out some ass for Vince McMahon.
That's how much that ass was worth to you, huh? $4 million.
Jesus
Christ. Might as well marry it.
For a hundo, you know what I'm saying?
For real, there's chicks over on Fulton Industrial. I mean, shit.
Get you right.
They can get that for a couple nickels for you.
Go to the massage joint with Robert Kraft. You'd be all right.
You know what I mean? Like, this cat don't even know how to do it. He don't even know how to just be a cheap ass. He said, yeah, I'm gonna take it from her. I'm gonna make her feel uncomfortable. I'm gonna dominate her, and then I'm gonna pay her $4 million not to tell anybody. Like, no, I don't care that much to even want to dominate her like that, because
right.
Kind of not a good look for you, if you know what I mean. Yeah, you don't want to come off as rapey. You don't want to come off as rapey.
He's at that age where you could just say crazy shit.
He's at that age where you're so old, where you just become rapey by nature, because it's like you done lost all your filters. All the active filters in your brain, they just like don't work no more. And then you got all the money in the world. So it's like, hey, what's it going to cost me?
Oh, he's just old.
He's just old. He's just an old guy. That's what they always give him that pass, don't they?
He doesn't know what he's saying.
He doesn't know what he's saying. He's just, he's old. He's senile, right? Like, it's okay. It's just fun. Hell no. Woo.
The whole WWF was really just his life.
You know what I mean? Like,
his real life. And we thought it was all
like shit. He could have me for less, and I'm a straight man.
Wow.
He said, shit.
$3 million and I can make some shit.
I mean, shit, man. I mean,
Oh, Lord.
I'm a straight man. I mean, shit. I'll let him rub on my knee for a cool $500,000.
Hey, everybody got a price.
That's what the case gonna be.
Everybody's got a price.
Everybody's got a price. Says here.
DiBiase said that.
Yeah. Says latest allegations mean Vince McMahon's days at WWE may be numbered. This is a pattern to McMahon's alleged behavior that makes it all more damning and indicates that more counts of misconduct could be coming. I mean, man, it went from 3 to 12 in a heartbeat. We didn't even get 2 weeks off of that.
I mean, Vince Watson.
Hey, we know who's hanging out together at least.
Right.
Vince McMahon sustained another damaging blow last week as he tries desperately to maintain control of the WWE. On Friday, Wall Street Journal reported McMahon paid $12 million to 4 women over the past 16 years to silence.
I mean, that's
allegations
over that length of time.
I mean, 4 women, that's not. I mean, that's not. That's not strong.
I presume there's more that we just haven't found out yet.
But here's the crazy part: like Deshaun got he had what 24. I mean, that cat probably. I mean, we don't know what he settled at, but he probably settled at like I'd say $200,000 each, which is still less than what this cat is getting smacked for on that $12 million.
True, but I mean, not a millionaire either.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he'll still be closely tied to the day-to-day of the company. I mean, his daughter...
Not officially, but we will be. Back channels.
His daughter, son-in-law, and son are all like...
They all own it. He broke it up and gave it all to him probably before all this shit really started hitting.
Yeah. I mean, he's been grooming Stephanie for a while. I mean, she's been in the company forever, and Triple H and Shane. I mean, surely they're not making too many moves without at least given him a call, even if the titles suggest otherwise.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You guys, that motherfucker ain't giving up control of all that shit. That's like Jerry Jones.
But I mean, they do have a board though, so I don't know. I mean, I would assume that they're on the board. I would assume they're on it.
I think that's how the first $3 million came about, was someone on the board.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they're all seeing some of their power diminish.
I mean, but it's also like they all knew as well. It's not like this is never like an isolated incident. There's always people who are going to talk, even in an informal setting. They're going to talk. So this shit was known. It says here, allegations of sexual misconduct and infidelity. One of the non-disclosure deals involved McMahon and former wrestler, where, according to the Journal, he coerced her into giving him oral sex and then demoted her. Then demoted her and ultimately declined to renew her contract after she resisted further encounters. This comes after a June 15 Journal report that McMahon paid $3 million in hush money to a woman whom he allegedly had an affair. There is no excuse for this hideous nature of the alleged behavior, and there is a disturbing pattern with regards to the NDAs, where McMahon has repeatedly, it's been reported, used money to cover up his misconduct. Okay, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, this paragraph starts to talk. The person who wrote it starts to give a little bit of an opinion towards the end, which is fine, but really what it boils down to here is that this cat has paid out to keep women quiet, and that's always like a weird thing, because it still takes two sides to agree to this being enough for them to let bygone be bygone. Essentially,
you took the money, so
it's like you did take the money. You didn't sue him. Well, if you did, that was done quietly and it was settled. Or he just offered the money up and made you sign an NDA, and you say, cool. So, I mean, look, I'm not even gonna knock nobody for taking $3 million. I'm not gonna knock them.
Right.
Why is this now the issue where we want to stand on, or where somebody, maybe not the women themselves, because I don't think have we heard from the women in these cases? I don't think we've heard anything from them.
I believe so. I think so far they're just concerned with the money.
Yeah, we've been hearing all this coming from the WWE, from their board of directors in their investigation, their internal investigation. So we haven't actually heard from the women, I don't believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, we haven't heard from them talking about this or bringing this up. So this is, and look, I'm not trying to defend Vince McMahon in any way, because apparently his character is on full display here. That's what we're seeing. It's his character. It's not a good person. But on the flip side of that, one would have to think that there has to be some element that they want out of the WWE to where this is now being put in the forefront, because that's how you're going to get it done. That's the only way to get it done, is to pull skeletons out of the closet, which I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. Because, I mean, hey, it doesn't matter how much money you use. Eventually, you still got to pay the piper eventually, and somebody is going to get that payment, whether it be
Always.
the person who who you violated, or whether it be the public when they get their red lump of meat and now they want to tear into you.
Right, they get that pound of flesh.
And that influence creates a problem for the branding of the company you built. So now you might be getting shown the door because of that.
Right. Watch it be
weird
like
way.
watch it be Shane.
He just sitting in the back office like this, just
man, this motherfucker won't quit. I've been trying to get control for 20 fucking years. This bitch keeps on telling me next year. I got his ass now.
He said, shit, I want some of He said, I want some of that.
Once you get a taste, that shit. Whew.
Once you get a taste of that power, it's hard to give it up.
Yeah. It's like crack.
All right. Let's see here. It says, And so this, right, and again, this is like part of me reading this article is I want to make sure people understand just the information. Now, this guy does have a lot. He's adding his own moral opinion to the topic, which I don't have a problem with because that's kind of, you know, as a journalist, they're going to do that. That's kind of, that adds a little bit of, it's going to add some perspective to, you know, the story from a dramatic side, but, you know, it's just strictly on wanting to know the facts. It's not 100% necessary to hear all of this, but we'll continue on because I'm not sure how much more of this there is, but we'll try. Okay, so it doesn't go too far. We're just going to try and breeze through the rest of this just to kind of keep things moving. Should this cause McMahon's demise? Yes, if allegations are true. Will it? That answer is more complicated. While it would appear on the surface that this is more than enough reason to have McMahon move from his position of power, he seems to have no intention of stepping down. Duh. We know he's not going to step down. Only way for him to step down is if they vote him out.
Yeah.
And that's another situation of, you know, to a certain extent, I feel Vince McMahon in just that they're trying to get him out of there. To a certain extent, to a very small degree, I understand. Because when you own something that you started and motherfuckers try to take it from you, oh, that's going to spark something. That's going to spark defiance that only you can take it to that level as the person who owns the business.
Yeah. Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis.
For real. Like, you know, it's his, you know what I mean? And that's going to forever be attached to his ego. He's never going to let that go. He'll never let that go. You know, and also they're at a time right now where they're seeing some heat from another competing wrestling organization that is arguably doing it better than they are, and and it seems to appear to have a longer shelf life than maybe the WWE has left in its tank, because AEW is exploring they're getting new talent, they're having less drama, and they've got the financial backing to keep it going. They're not going to run out of money. They're not going to run out of money. Tony Khan, obviously, son of Shad Khan, who owns the Jaguars. Dude's like the third richest owner in the NFL. The moment that he bought the team, he's worth like $8-9 billion. Yeah, they're going to be all right. He's going to be able to keep that floating, period. Right. And he got a football franchise he can always leverage for money if he wants it. Like, who's not gonna get it? Yeah, give me $500 million. Okay, yes, here you go. Yeah. Here you go. So now, you know, I hear somebody saying that he does have 80% voting power on the board. Now that's strong right there, too. That's strong. That is strong. So they have to be able to get him to have violated something that will allow them to get him out of there with cause. This is what they're digging for.
This is real life Succession.
This is real life Succession for real. Like that
motherfucker
man.
Oh man. Well, I see his game plan. I see what he's trying to do.
He's playing it. He's playing the game too. He's like, come on, motherfuckers. It says here.
I might be old, but I still know some shit. Got a trick or two up my sleeve.
Mm-hmm. Says McMahon did relinquish his CEO title in the wake of the earlier journal report, but remains in charge of the company's creative direction. His daughter, Stephanie McMahon, will remain WWE's interim CEO. So you passing CEO right to your daughter? Of course. Yeah, you're still controlling the company. But Vince McMahon will still run the operation, sources have told Sports Illustrated. Of course. Further complicating. Say what?
It's exactly Succession.
Yeah, it is literally from the TV show. This will be a script for a TV show in 10 years. 5 years. Man, 3 years, really. Next summer. Shit.
Right. What if I told you? Go ahead.
Further complicating the situation is that McMahon is well positioned to protect himself. He owns a bulk of shareholding voting power. But how can the company and its board not react to recent reports? There have been no denials from McMahon. Though his PR team is already in motion. He ain't said it wasn't me. He just He's just sitting there like,
Okay.
yeah, I'll step down as
That's what you
CEO. I'll
that's
step down
what
as
you got?
CEO. Let my daughter be CEO.
Yeah,
What are you going to do? Tell me I got to leave? Remember, you got to vote me out.
I got all the votes.
Let's see. WWE has told investors that the success of the company hinges on McMahon standing as its leader. That was true once upon a time, but it's no longer the case. McMahon did not build the company to die with him. WWE is a global brand, turning record profits, often succeeding in spite of McMahon's antiquated storytelling, and the mastermind behind it all is quickly becoming a public liability. To his credit, though, WWE is currently in a position where it will thrive with or without McMahon. So I guess he understands that. He understands that. Ultimately, nothing will change if WWE in the WWE if McMahon remains in a position of command. That is precisely what he wants. Business as usual. It was the point he made emphatically during his recent appearances on Raw and SmackDown. Oh shit. Following his June 17th appearance on SmackDown, Fightful reported that McMahon returned to the back and shouted, "Fuck him!" As I confirmed the report and was told, McMahon repeatedly shouted, "Fuck him!" They finished by stating, "Let's put on a show. Business as usual, right?" McMahon is there to put on a show. He said, "Fuck the haters. I'm styling on them.
That's the modern show business. The show must go on.
The show will continue. Fuck them. Fuck them all." Hey, I can't even be mad. I can't even be mad at it. Who can be mad at that? I mean, yeah, he's a scumbag piece of shit.
But this is America.
But this is America. He's allowed to be that.
Yeah, we love that.
Everybody loves a comeback story.
We're act like we're holier than thou. We love fucking scumbags.
We love scumbags. We just love. We love drama. We love drama. We love people to be in misery.
Half our movies are fucking scumbag pieces of shit.
We love to see pain. We love to see struggle. And then we love to see them overcome it, saying, "Fuck them, fuck them." Yeah, that's a man who knows deep down inside. Ooh, I already know I'm gonna be using that too much. I love that. He's got unlimited power and he knows it. And he knows it.
They on the phone right now. Yo, Dan, come scoop me up.
I told you it worked. Just tell him to say fuck him. I told you it worked. I told you it worked.
Come scoop me up. Yeah, we're gonna go to this island for a couple weeks. I gotta go they ain't gonna say nothing.
Hey man, come get on the boat, man. We out of here, man. He said, "Right now?" I said, yeah, right now, man. Look, they about to serve me a subpoena. Get your ass over here. Let's go. I'm like, all right, I'm on my way.
I know your old ass ain't doing shit. Come on.
Wow. So, those are two stories we're obviously going to keep you guys up to the know. As soon as we get the info, we pass it on to y'all and do what we do. But this next segment here, I actually been looking forward to this the most tonight because I'm somebody, I feel like there is a great amount of value in traditions in sports. And there's a lot of respect that should be paid to some of those traditions that kind of have set the cornerstone for a lot of sports' greatest like moments. And when you have some of the greatest athletes participating, and one of the greatest athletes of all time participating, and reinforcing the importance of these traditions, it gives you a little perspective because we talked about the situation with the LIV golf tournament and how they're cashing cats out to just come out there and play as a new professional golf league, world ranked league, even though it's not world ranked yet. They've already had 2 competitions and they're not world ranked. So they're getting nothing from playing in there other than the guaranteed money that they were promised to sign up with a league that's being bankrolled by Saudi Arabia. Now, again, I'm not one to judge somebody for taking the bread when it's getting put on their table like that, but at least be honest about why you're in this so that there's no confusion about the fact that maybe you did sell out your morals just a little bit because this mattered a little bit more at the time. I ain't going to be too mad at you for that. I will lose some respect, but at the same time, I'm not jumping all the way off your ship. I just look at you side-eyed for a while.
Taking plenty Saudi money, plenty China money. Let's not sit up here and act like...
the NBA's taking all kinds of China money, and they are willing to sell off just a piece of their principles when it comes to human rights violations by China, which we know that happens. It's been happening. So Saudi Arabia, it's one thing that on the Chinese side, we maybe have not seen it in our faces, but we've been hearing about it. On the other end, Saudi Arabia, that was like an international fucking incident. Like footage of a hit team snatching up a dude inside of the embassy, a guy who was an American citizen technically, and working for an American media publication, major media publication, and they killed this guy. And like we all kind of knew it. Everybody was like, yeah, he did walk in there. He never came out. Yeah, Saudi Prince did not like him. And now we can't find him. Now he's gone. This is not something that was hard for people to actually like connect the dots on with the smallest amount of information possible.
Right.
But they're trying to rehabilitate their image, obviously, in the world stage. They've worked with companies like the WWE. I believe they had a WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. They worked with the UFC. They had some fights there during the pandemic. So this is a country that has been Fight Island, right? Yeah. This is a country that has been on the, on the lookout to spend as much money as possible to try and rehabilitate what is a very ugly human rights record, which, look, I find it hard to really talk about human rights records when the U.S. has a ton of violations in human rights you can even consider to today. It's just that we make it more sanitized looking, so nobody, people glance over it, and we got more money than everybody, and we got more power than everybody. So countries are not necessarily willing to speak up when they're getting $300 million from us every year. Like, right. Yeah, shut up. Don't say our names. We might say yours. We might say yours, but don't say ours.
You reserve the right.
So that one. But again, though, the situation with Saudi Arabia was bad, but it got exponentially worse with Khashoggi getting getting killed, getting a summary execution from the government of Saudi Arabia on an embassy on embassy soil in a different country. So even though it was technically considered Saudi Arabia, it was still sitting on another landmass that's not there. And that even exposed the intelligence side of Turkey, because the Turkish CIA was the ones who figured it out, because they're like, yo, we got surveillance in here. What's going on? Why is there a bone saw going off? What the fuck? So they just chopped this dude up. Like, they were like, hey, we just kind of stumbled across this. Here's a tape.
I don't know what you're doing this, but
I don't really know what's on. I don't really know what's on here. Just, shoot me a text once you get done watching it. I'm going back to the office.
I thought this was the Land Before Time. And then somebody must have recorded over it.
Yeah. But
I didn't look at it.
Didn't look at it. I didn't check it out.
I saw it was the cartoon, and then here it is. It's yours.
Yeah, I thought it was just an office tape.
Do with it as you will.
But Tiger Woods has come out and actually given his 2 cents on how he feels about the golfers and what it does for the culture of professional golf to have guys basically, and it's funny, I haven't heard this entire thing, but it seemed to me like he wasn't even going into the issue of human rights violations with Saudi Arabia. He was just slamming these cats on the principles of abandoning one side under the pretense of being paid this money. And the only thing that's guaranteed in it is the money. You're not even guaranteed for this to even have an effect on your career from a positioning standpoint, because they haven't been accepted as a legitimate professional golf tournament with world rankings attached to it. So you're not even, and you've already done two championships, and it doesn't count to anybody else but you, which makes it a problem. So let's listen to this video here. It's about 1 minute, 18 seconds. Let's hear what Tiger has to say on the issue.
These players are doing for guaranteed money. What is the incentive to practice? What is the incentive to go out there and earn it in the dirt? You're just getting paid a lot of money up front and playing a few events and playing 54 holes. They're trying to...
one thing he said there that makes a lot of sense. He said, what happened to earning that shit in the dirt? What happened to earning your keep? You don't have no incentive to even put in work because you got your money already. So you can flout this shit and make yourself look bad because you don't really have a reason to work any harder. There's no glory in working harder at this point because of that.
Tiger was the one that took all the money.
Tiger took all the money. Nigga, you took all the money from here.
Of course I don't have any fucking money. You have it all.
Look at him.
Wait, does everybody get the same amount for the loser? The last place guy all the way to the top guy? Surely there's purses still.
I'm
bored here. Surely the guy that wins the tournament gets more, even though they have these huge guaranteed contracts. I could be mistaken.
I don't know.
Everybody gets the same, and it's just an exhibition every week. I don't think that's the case.
Honestly, I don't know. I actually don't know enough about their league and how it's set up to actually answer that. But let's hear what he has to say. Let's hear what else we know. Maybe.
Few events and playing 54 holes. They're trying to, playing blaring music and have all these atmospheres that are different. I just don't see how, 54 holes. I can understand 54 holes is almost like a mandate when you get to the senior tours. The guys are a little bit older and a little more banged up, but
wow. He said, y'all only playing 54 holes. He said, that's what the old motherfuckers be playing on. So y'all ain't even playing true pro golf. Y'all ain't even getting stretched like that. Y'all are playing on old man rules, on senior rules.
And this is the oldest, most banged up motherfucker there is.
And he, 46.
He's more.
My God,
he's
46,
more
and he won a Masters 3 years ago.
He's more metal than bone at this point.
This dude's entire right leg has been reconstructed from the hip down.
Like a shit
you
about
know what I mean?
Whippersnappers.
This cat done got beat on with a golf club in the back of his spine. He done had his knees blown out. And he's still competing at the highest possible level. Look at his face. You can see the stress that he done went through. This motherfucker face.
If I'm the 100th best golfer in the world, that's about where I'm going to be. And I got to make a living for my family. I'm making, whatever I'm making at the PGA Tour. These motherfuckers want to come in 10x that?
But see, that's the thing, though. That's the thing.
I'm not going to
I
raise
doubt
it
that.
anyways. I wasn't going to win any major race.
Yeah, but if you're ranked if you're ranked 100th, you're not getting the money that these other cats are getting, even by the LIV.
We get something guaranteed.
Yeah. Maybe.
I don't know, like, who's on the, like, what every guy is getting.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know what, like, I don't know that they have like the robust roster.
If it was Apple, I mean, if it was, on par, they wouldn't be jumping ship left and right. So it's got to be way more. Like, if I'm a cat, I mean, certain cats know they're never going to win a major. It's fine.
That's yeah.
So why not? It's like, shit, Tiger's still playing. I'm not winning. I might as well go get this money.
As long as this motherfucker's still playing, I don't stand a chance.
I might as well go get this money.
All right, let's hear what else he got to say on it.
When you get to the senior tours, the guys are a little bit older and a little more banged up. But, when you're at a young age and some of these kids, there really are kids, who are gone from amateur golf into that organization. 72-hole tests, are part of it. I mean, we used to have 36-hole playoffs for major championships. That's how it used to be. 18-hole US Open playoffs. That's.
He said, "Oh, he just dropped the old back in my day.
These motherfuckers
36-hole playoff for the championship. 36 holes.
Like, I mean, 72 holes ain't in the Bible. Shit.
I mean, but 36 holes, that means 36 holes after the final hole.
Right.
To win.
So you play 108
so you play
holes.
Basically another 8 or 9 holes. Well, no, 36 holes. That would be like.
I mean, that's 2 more rounds. That's 2 more whole rounds.
Another. We played that championship guy. We played that 2 days longer than the actual tournament was scheduled.
I had to stay till Wednesday.
I had to stay till the next Thursday to get up out of there. Well, those were my days back in the good old days.
In every sport, you see guys. Some guys are out here playing for legacy and championships, and to be the GOAT. Some motherfuckers out here trying to get paid.
Them motherfuckers out here playing for a check, plain and simple.
You see that in every sport. Like, who are you to call these guys for trying to take care of their families? Guarantee money.
You know what, though? I think he's talking to cats like Phil Mickelson, though. Well, no, I mean, he's talking about young cats, but I mean, I think that part is him trying to speak to, like, okay, so, well, I feel what he's saying to an extent, because a lot of these cats wouldn't be where they are if they wasn't already playing in the PGA. Wouldn't nobody from LIV be asking for them if they weren't already playing in the PGA? The PGA is the reason why they getting. If you played in the PGA, that's why you getting the offer. Like, you would never get that offer if you weren't playing already or good in the PGA. If you ain't good, they're not coming for you because they want people who attract viewership.
I mean, they've also done plenty for the PGA. I'd say they're even.
I mean, PGA's 100. Like the Open. The Open's 150 years old. So, I mean, it's like everybody done gained from that. But really, it's the respect for that event that that it does hold so much weight in the culture and the community and on the media side. It holds still a ton more weight than the LIV tournament. Why would you not want to be a part of that? That'll give you more money than the LIV will give you if you're playing well.
I mean, but I don't know if these guys are all. Some of these guys are good players. I think there's a couple top 20 guys. But I mean, if the money is so astronomical, I mean, and I don't know the figures, but they've got to be crazy for these guys to be doing it. I just can't see another way.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a stupid number. But I mean, if you're weighing everything on it, I would at least y'all got to be world ranked before we can really fuck with y'all. Because once y'all get world, at least then it adds to my career officially. And I can still get my own endorsements with that. I can get my own spot.
I don't need endorsements, baby. I got guaranteed money.
He said, I don't need no endorsements.
They gave
Yeah,
me so
you don't
much.
need them, but you sure as hell want them.
Hey, I'll take them. I mean, if I catch fire and now I'm the best live player in the world, I'm sure they'll get endorsements
Hey,
too.
look, I mean, hey, but
Might be might be a company
you
based in
can,
South Arabia, but I bet they pay too.
you can just as easily say, well, shit, it's easy for Tiger to say that. Well, look, they offered Tiger $1.7 billion. They basically offered to double his fucking worth.
I mean, good on him.
And he said no.
Good on him. I am not him.
He said you're a better man than me.
A lot less than 1.7 billion.
Ooh.
It would take a lot less than that for me to go play in a motherfucking
18-hole U.S. Open playoffs. That's. I just don't see how that move is positive in the long term.
What else he say over here? The same thing
for guaranteed money.
Tiger Woods is like, guaranteed money, motherfucker. Who care about that?
Like, bitch, you got $1 million,
and
we're out here struggling. I mean, they're doing great for that person, probably, but still.
Okay, so I think this is where he kind of goes directly at some golfers. I think. Let's hear what he says here.
Your question about the players who have chosen to go to LIV and to play on to play there, I disagree with it. I think that what they've done is they've turned their back on what has allowed them to get to this position. Some players have never got a chance to even experience it. They've gone right from the amateur ranks right into that organization, and never really got a chance to play out here and what it feels like to play a tour schedule or to play in some big events. And who knows what's going to happen in the near future with world ranking points, the criteria for entering major championships. The governing body's gonna have to figure that out, and some of these players may not ever get a chance to play major championships, and that is a possibility. We don't know that for sure yet. It's up to all the major championship bodies to make that determination, but that is a possibility that some players will never ever get a chance to play in a major championship, never get a chance to experience this right here. Walk down the fairways at Augusta National. I mean, that to me, I just don't understand it.
I mean, I can't buy a mega yacht with.
I tell you what, when that motherfucker came to work out in Jacksonville at the Players Championship, he slid that big ass yacht into the port to get his practice swings off. He just slid that thing in there nice and smooth. That thing was nice. And that was like 6 in the morning. He just slid up in there, big ass yacht. Tiger, hey.
If I go to the bank, hey, I'm trying to buy this, $5 million house. You got some money? Nah, but I walk down.
Hey, your picture's
frozen. I saw that bitch so fast.
Your picture's frozen. Just letting you know.
Oh shit. Okay.
But no, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think that is like, it's so hard to take that element out of it. The money element is going to be a motivating factor no matter who you are. If you're getting offers, if you have the ability to, join a professional golfing circuit and you're getting guaranteed money up front, I mean, how many people do you know are going to necessarily disagree with that or refuse to take that? I mean, it's just not. That's the hardest part of it. But there's still an argument to be made for what is going on with the potential for, being ineligible to play in any kind of major championships that really do give clout to your career. I mean, I would say that the pros of playing in the PGA Championship and playing in the Open and being a part of the FedEx rankings, I would say that I feel that those, over the bigger picture, looking at it with the bigger picture perspective, that's more important than the upfront money. You'll likely get more money over the long haul succeeding and winning championships and winning major titles than you will just taking a guaranteed contract for a certain number of years. And if you're outperforming that contract, almost, for some people, immediately, if they're good enough, if they're outperforming that contract, then there's no renegotiating that until it's done. Whereas you're getting paid different purse amounts as a champion on the PGA side of things. So I mean, there's pros on both sides, I would say. But for the over, is that me echoing? All right. You got something going on with your mic there. Sounds like a DJ's mixing your EDM concert. Yeah, just jump out and jump back in. That might be mixed up on that. Okay, so just to kind of wrap up this this segment, sorry about that little technical difficulty there, but I really think that there's pros and cons on both sides of it. And I think that for some athletes, like Justin said, it is going to be hard for them to win championships and get those purses. I mean, they get paid money for participating, but for some, maybe it's a better situation that they take guaranteed money up front. But at the end of the day, like, this is just an experiment for this league. At a certain point, they won't be giving away guaranteed contracts. And that's where, for those guys who get money up front, if that's not something that you can rely on to happen repeatedly, to happen continuously, then, the second time around, they may not want to give you a contract. But you also can't go to the PGA. So that puts you in a very awkward position that could definitely affect the bigger side of a person's career. So, that's pretty much where I am on it. I can see both sides of the argument. The money side is big, but also, you're not necessarily missing out on that money side if you are a good enough competitor, if you're somebody who performs well enough in the field, in the industry. So,
okay. Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm thinking about it from like a journeyman almost type player.
because like I said, the journeyman's not going to get a second contract, though. That's what I'm saying. That's where it's like, you got guaranteed money up front, but if you're a guy who's trying to, advance their career, you'll make that much money in trying to advance your career in the PGA. And if and there's so many ways, so many different championships you can win there. And there are guys who come out of nowhere and win championships that you never would have considered them a potential to win.
And then they go back into obscurity.
But they got that nice $20 million payday.
But it's the same as what they would have got from the day one. And you didn't have to win.
Okay, so again, there's bonuses on both sides of it.
I mean, it depends on what you're playing for. I mean, some guys are out here for legacies.
It depends on why you're there. Like Tiger Woods clearly is there for different reasons than everybody else.
Yeah, he wants to be the best ever. Wants to be the GOAT. I mean,
he's close to having the official title of that. So he's going to continue to try and push for that. That's
Pat Perez. He said, I've been out here on the road for 20 years, grinding my ass off, and I made more in one day than I have in those 20 years. So I was like, I can't
be mad at that. I mean,
a guy that's probably not going to ever be a household name or ever going to win a major. And there's a lot of guys out there like that. I mean, yes, occasionally a guy like that will come up and like come out of nowhere and win the major. And, you know, they get their 15 minit's. And then
VJ Singh, his ass, he won a major, then he just started getting popped for steroids. It's like, bro, you're golfing. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you failing for steroids? You're golfing. You're golfing.
Yeah, it's really, obviously it's an individual decision, and the folks know where I stand.
He said, get that money.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of it depends on the numbers. How long are these contracts? Exactly how much money am I making? But
yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of nitty gritties in the contracts that they have to be able to deal with as well.
But obviously, if I'm capable of winning tournaments, I want to be in the PGA.
Mm-hmm. If you feel like you're actually going to be worth a damn towards achieving greatness, then maybe stay in the PGA and get your greatness on.
Because there is a value a tangible value to being great, you know, inherently, even if it's not, you know, that guaranteed money. So I get it. If I'm a guy like Tiger, or, you know, which it does kind of surprise me that some of the top players that have won majors are defecting. But that kind of surprised me as well. But we'll keep up with it. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be more to be said. I heard that Rory McIlroy's had some things that he said as well. You know, he ain't Tiger, so I'm gonna listen to Tiger first. Yeah.
We might catch up with him next week and see what he had to say. You know,
maybe the recession hitting the, you know, endorsement dollars too.
Hey, and that's true too. I mean, there's endorsements are a different thing because that has to deal with your marketability as a public figure. And I mean, there's only like 4 or 5 maybe in golf that really hold up when it comes to the image side of it, because the other ones are like, yeah, he's a degenerate gambling fucking freak.
It's like you're still
struggling.
You're still golfers. Like y'all are just becoming. Y'all have only become cool since like Tiger, you know. Like golfers were getting pussy like that before Tiger.
Yeah. It was
at least that we knew. At least that we knew about. I mean,
at least that we knew. Tiger was the one who turned into the rock star golfer.
Yeah.
And we already witnessed his highs and his downfall. Oh, that's going to be a movie again. That's going to be another kind of movie.
His comeuppance was crazy. Yeah.
All right, so moving on to the last story of the night, and I think, you know, there's something I think that maybe we should do something like this on Wednesday nights. We pick one Twitter article, Twitter post that has some high traffic, and we just do a comments. We just swipe the comments and see what the people think about a news story that hits the headlines. Like this one with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson sitting here, as reported by Tom Rizzo. As I heard from reliable sources right now, I'm hearing 4 to 6 games suspension for Watson. Now, look, I've gone back and forth a few times on this Deshaun Watson suspension situation. And I believe where I'm sitting right now, and I'm sorry, it's Tony Rizzo. My bad, not Tom Rizzo. And I believe where I'm sitting right now is that I didn't think that he necessarily needed a single game suspension based on how this is played out. If you're considering and weighing the situation in its totality, I think by a very small margin, it's fair for him to escape being suspended at all.
Especially if you consider time served.
You can say time served on one end, yes. And you can also say, in my opinion, well, you had 2 grand juries that said there was not enough evidence to even charge him with anything. And you now have 20 of 24 women who have settled. If we're just speaking from a logical standpoint, even with the absurdity of the number of women that there were in this case, even with that absurdity, and this is me literally trying to just give a generalized summary of a theory, of a hypothetical for how this could end, and I wouldn't be totally opposed to it. Even with the absurdity of number of women and the issues around the details being what they are, which basically he say, she say, even with how this there does need to be accountability here to some degree, which I think that's coming with the settlements. Did he actually do anything that you can prove was a violation of the NFL's personal conduct policy at all?
Not that I can prove.
I don't think there's anything that can prove beyond what is legally acceptable in a court of law. I don't think there's anything that proves he actually did anything that violates the personal conduct policy. And that's where my thought process brought me to. I would not be surprised and might not be mad if he didn't get suspended at all, because in fairness to everything, he is still going to pay a penalty just for the simple fact of the accusations, which accusations alone cannot be a violation of personal conduct policy, because that kind of circumvents any kind of due process to say that you're just going to be penalized just for the accusation with nothing behind that.
Otherwise, I would just hire someone to make accusations on everyone else.
on everyone else, and just get settlements left and right, and get cats on strategically get cats on other teams suspended for half the season.
We got the Packers. Division. We got the Packers next week. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers touched me. Now he's got to sit.
So, with all that being considered, let's take a look at the comments section, because I think 4 or 6 games is simply for the fact that this has brought a little bit of a bad taste to the mouth of the NFL.
Sure, gotta protect the shield.
They have to protect the shield, so he must suffer for that. Which that I feel like is a pretty much the limit you can take it. Now,
Roger and him probably had a deal. Hey, how many ever cases you got left when the season starts? That's how many games your ass is gonna sit.
1 game per case. Word? Who want to settle?
Bet.
I'm talking about all of a sudden you just seeing Deshaun Watson popping up at these dang massage therapist offices.
Hello there.
Yes.
Hello there. I've come to make a deal. All of a sudden. So let's take a look at the comments to end this, to go through the rest of this night. The comments, as one would expect, some people are like, okay. Some people are like, I'm not buying it. But, let's see. Let's see what we got. A virtual eye roll. Okay. We got people laughing at this shit. Nobody believes this guy. Sources. I made the whole thing up. I remember this movie.
That's kind of the nature of sources, though, is that they don't tend to be given up.
Yeah. Let's see.
Unless you're Dan Snyder and you can just subpoena against.
I mean, Rizzo sources. Jim, Jack, Johnny, and Jose. Oh, man. Ooh. What does it say about the NFL when they proclaim pre-hearing that they're seeking an unprecedented suspension for Watson? Interviews with accusers by NFL and text messages seemingly are hearsay. We've had 1 case dismissed. This is the basis for an unprecedented suspension. Yeah, I don't think that the NFL really. I mean, I don't know who said the unprecedented suspension. I don't think that came from Goodell or nobody. I think it was a spokesperson who tried to say that, which was like, yeah, calm down there. Calm down. Calm down.
Is your name Roger? You shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up.
Rizzo has no sources. Everyone knows this. He's just repeating what he's seeing on Twitter and taking a guess. damn, they don't even. Everybody, they ain't even. He don't even have no credibility here.
Killing this poor guy.
The lies.
I mean,
Look,
at the end of the day, Roger can move the goalposts wherever he wants.
He, at the end of the day, he literally can do whatever he wants. And the CBA says he has the power to do that. He can do whatever he wants. He doesn't have to listen to anybody, or even the judge who they have, who's been litigating this or mediating it with them. I still don't see him doing more than 6 games. I mean, I really do think that in a rare situation, the number changes daily. That's what sports journalism has come to now. Total guesses to try and get it right first, losing credibility day by day. I don't know. But again, like I'm saying, I feel like this is a rare situation where a player actually has some legitimate leverage to actually argue against a maximum suspension of a season, like an indefinite suspension. Like he literally can fight this in court if he wanted to.
Yeah,
if they suspended him for a year.
I feel like he'd have a pretty good leg to stand on. I mean, I don't know the law extremely well, but
because it would all boil down to what exactly are you suspending me for?
Right.
Being accused of something being done? Well, it literally went to 2 grand juries, and they didn't even charge me with anything. So what am I being suspended for? For you hearing gossip, basically, is what it can amount to.
And settling
you heard gossip, and women sued me, so I'm getting suspended for being sued.
Yeah, settling does not admit fault either.
Yeah, and settling is not an admission of fault. So he's settling on almost all the cases in a heartbeat. As soon as he made the decision that he was going to just go ahead and settle, boom, they all accepted, except for 4. Those 4 who didn't accept were probably the ones who had who theoretically had the strongest leg to stand on a criminal case, and they couldn't get a criminal case. So what exactly are you suspending me for? And that's a legitimate argument that is all you I mean, what, you can't make up something.
Right. Yeah, I feel like I got a right to know.
The paperwork you guys filed was 2 days too late. So that is actually a violation of the personal conduct policy.
There's going to be like a little subsection written in ink.
Yes, and then
so,
even
you just wrote this. I saw you write this in the bathroom.
The ink is still wet. I mean, even one could argue that this was a situation even of self-sabotage by the Houston Texans once they found out that he didn't want to play for them no more. Then all of a sudden, boom, you've got a plethora of women who come out and say that he's done this. So there's so many ways that there's so many different angles that Deshaun Watson and his people can take to actually apply pressure to the NFL, because the NFL is the one who has to prove that he did something wrong within their guidelines and their constitution within the NFL CBA. What has he done wrong? He has never been arrested. He has not been charged with anything. The only thing that you can even look at is a civil lawsuit, which, if we're going to suspend guys for civil lawsuits, a lot of guys be gone.
Yeah. That line goes around the block.
That line can go around the block 5 times. So what exactly are you suspending me for? It don't matter what we saw on ESPN. It's tabloid. You might as well consider it tabloid shit.
Yeah. At this point, it's about the same.
You might as well consider it tabloid shit. Oh wow. Jeez. Is this the hold up? What is this, Tony Rizzo? What'd he do? For persistent disorderly conduct, 30 days in jail. Damn, my guy. These people really don't like you.
Bringing up that old shit. God.
They don't like this dude at all. My God. Let's see here. Ultimately, the NFL can suspend Watson for whatever length they see fit until Robinson says no suspension. NFLPA can always sue over it, but they don't have a great record with suing the NFL over punishments. And that's all that's true. But I think this is just one of those rare cases. Look, there have been rare cases where players get over on the NFL for the NFL not really for the NFL just using their discretion and being assholes and just doing whatever they want, like just whatever. And there have been situations where, they go to a court and the court is like, no, you can't do that. Don't matter what your CBA says. You can't do that. And the NFL will quietly allow it to pass. Quietly. Don't ask them no question about it. They're not going to answer it. And that happens. But I think this is one of those times where he can be like, y'all can't suspend me for shit. And they have to kind of be like,
you're probably right.
yeah, you're probably right. Tell you what, since you're only making $1 million this year, tell you what, we'll get 4 games.
You'd be like, hey, what's going on with this Snyder guy?
Hold on, so y'all gonna make me sit out games, but y'all ain't make Snyder sell his team?
So no punishment for him, but for me, yes.
You know what I mean? Like, y'all got me in here in meetings. He ain't in no meeting. He on the boat.
Or I guess he did get a $10 million fine. But
yeah. Well, he just paid that $10 million with the $10 million he stole from the fucking concession. Oh man, that dude is fucking. He is a super freaking. Like, how does he just get away with all that? Dan Snyder, I'm talking about. But yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like I said, I feel like if there's really if there's really something to be paid for the situation itself, that's coming in the settlements that he's going to have to pay. But at the end of the day, he never had to actually defend himself in the court of law because there was never any charges. And the settlements make this literally like they kind of make it a non-issue from that point moving forward. Because once they take the money, got to shut up, honey. I mean, that's the truth. So
that's how it works.
So, we'll see how it plays out. I think that if I'm Cleveland, I don't necessarily, I would be a little indifferent to it. I almost would prefer maybe he said another season just so we can clear some cap space, get a couple more, key figures in here. It's one more season to wait. But I mean, when we bring out this Ferrari, we bring this motherfucking Ferrari out the garage.
We're about to kill him tomorrow.
We finna kill all of them. We finna just speed by everybody. We need to be ready for that.
Yeah, what's another year to Cleveland?
What's another year of mediocrity?
I've been sorry so long.
What's another year of mediocrity to make sure when we roll out this F1 McLaren that this motherfucker hits the track and he is swerving on everybody? That's how I would look at it. I'd be like, hey, it's only $1 million. You're only losing $1 million, cuz everything else guaranteed.
Right.
I'll take one more sabbatical. You know what I mean? Go really get your body right, get your mind right.
But only see these massage therapists that I have pre-approved for you.
Stay out of the massage parlors. If you need a massage therapist, I can get you 5.
Yes.
That's it.
And I will come to your house and be in the next room.
We will monitor these. So everything is agreed and consensual. All right. Well, that is going to be it for us here on Lineman Live. We do appreciate y'all for being in here with us tonight. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that bell notification as well. And keep up with us whenever we are dropping new videos. Now, I did just finally get the word on the TikTok. So we're going to have a TikTok account that is going to be, playing clips from our live streams on it as well. So I'll be posting that information as it becomes available. You'll probably see us on YouTube Shorts as well. So keep an eye out for that. But appreciate you guys once again. We are the linemen of Lineman Life. Justin, Blaylock, Uche, Nwaneri. Appreciate y'all. We will see y'all. We will see y'all. We will be y'all on the next one. I hope that each one of you goes in to this night and feels as strong and I'm gonna have some new ones. I'm gonna have some new ones next week too,
Lord.
guaranteed. Yes, sir. We going in on it. But anyways, appreciate you guys very much. Hope y'all have a wonderful night. We will see y'all on the next one.
Peace.